Welcome to Rate the Audits, where we put misconduct on display, explore police and legal content, protect rights and demand accountability. This episode is brought to us by Yardley Ski Auditing. Be sure to check the link below and subscribe to his channel and give him the credit he deserves. In this episode, Auditor Yardley Ski is outside Folkestone Police Station carrying out a simple audit when an inspector storms out, claiming he's on private property, despite there being no clear signage or restricted access. Yardley plays it safe, steps back behind the gate onto public land and continues filming. But that's when things spiral. Two undertrained officers arrive and instead of respecting the law, throw every excuse they can to push him away. Yardley holds his ground, defends his rights and ends up being unlawfully arrested. The result, HNK Solicitors took the case, Yardley won a huge payout, and once again it's the public left footing the bill for police ignorance and ego.
Okay, so you are?
I'm Inspector Creed. I'm perfectly happy with you filming. No
Fine.
problem with you filming whatsoever.
Cool.
It's just the fact that you're on the police premises here.
Yeah,
and
but
we do ask the public to remain on the
Yeah,
public
there's no
area.
signage. There's no signage, there's nothing blocking me
Well, you've
from
just
stopping
come-
me from walking round.
Well, there is a barrier there.
Yeah, that's for
and there's
cars.
a fence there.
That's the cars. I didn't jump over anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anything I can help you with at all?
Yeah, you can stop abusing my rights and let me film. That's what you
I'm
said.
not stopping you filming.
Okay then.
No problem with you filming
Well, I
at
can
all.
film in the car park. There's nothing stopping me from filming in the car park.
As part of our insurance reasons, as well as the security of the site, we don't allow members of the public on here. So that's why I'm asking you to leave and move out onto the public area. You can either go out here or you can go onto the public access area there. It's entirely up to you.
The very first move from the inspector is to accuse Yardley of being on private police premises, but Yardley instantly exposes how weak that claim is. He points out the obvious. There's no signage, no warning, nothing to suggest the land was restricted. In law, if the public isn't clearly informed that an area is private, they can't be treated as trespassing. Access has to be made clear, not hidden behind vague assumptions. When the inspector tries to cling to the idea of a barrier, Yardley shuts him down again, reminding him it's a car barrier, not a pedestrian one, and he never climbed over anything to get in. That's the key difference. Walking through an open, unmarked space is lawful. Trespass only applies when someone knowingly goes where they're not allowed, and here the inspector had nothing to point to. Now in the video, Yardley moves behind the gate to the area the inspector confirmed was fine to record from, but he's confronted by two hostile officers.
Do your job first.
Well, I'm doing my job.
No, you're not. No, you're not. Step away, go away, get lost. I'm not listening to you. Do not talk to me. Listen, stop talking to me. No, I'm not going to listen to you. And if you touch me, right, that's going to be an assault as well. So just, look, you've got your hands up. You've got your hands up. Right, so excuse out of my way, please. Excuse out of my way. Excuse out of my way.
You can film. You can film.
Oh, listen to me. Please get out of my way. Please get out of my way. Get out of my way. Let me
Chief
pass.
Constable holds the right to restrict your access. Okay, you're more than welcome to film on the public bits, but we can't have you filming by the gate, obviously, because it's got a keypad. Okay, which is a private
I'm not listening to you, what you're saying. You're just
Well, you
talking.
are.
No, I'm not. You're talking to yourself, and I'm going forward.
listen
And I'm
to
going
us.
forward. Do not listen. You're standing right in front of me.
I am saying right,
Right.
I'm not
So
gonna
I'm.
do that.
Why not?
Because it's an implied right of
explained to
access.
you.
No,
We have
listen.
the right
I've
to
got
remove you.
I've
We have the right
got a
to
right
remove
of
you.
access. I've been told. Okay,
No.
by an
Yeah, you
inspector.
did.
By an
Yeah.
inspector.
And this right of
Okay.
access is now being revoked.
No, we'll go and get an inspector to revoke it because I've been told that I've been told by an inspector that I
don't
can
need
film
an
here.
inspector. I don't need an
No,
inspector
well,
to revoke.
I've been told that I can film here.
What I am happy
I've
to
been
do.
told. No. Listen.
told you
I've-
what's upsetting you.
Nothing. Well, you're upsetting me because you're not doing your job. He just went and threatened me.
Right, but the reason I hear
No. He just went and threatened me.
The officers try to push Yardley back from the gate, even though he stood firmly on public land. One officer wrongly claims implied right of access gives them the power to remove him. That's completely false. Implied access only covers members of the public entering private property for a lawful reason, like approaching a house. It doesn't apply to someone standing on public ground, meaning they had no legal power to move him on. Yardley points out the inspector already told him he could stand there, which should have ended the debate. Instead, the officer makes it worse by claiming that right has now been revoked. Only the landowner or someone with proper authority can revoke access, and Yardley wasn't even on private land in the first place. For the officer to then say he doesn't need an inspector's authorization only underlines how clueless and reckless his approach was.
He just went and threatened me. So you're telling me somebody can threaten you anywhere,
Right.
but all you're worrying about is me not filming in a place
At
of...
the moment, yes.
Yeah. Why?
Correct.
Who started the initial crime? Who initially evoked a
At the
crime?
moment, I'm here because you're here.
No.
Filming in a place.
Well,
You're
you
not allowed
shouldn't
to
be.
film.
You should be after that guy first because he's getting away. Who is he?
At the moment, I
Who's
don't
that
know.
bloke?
I don't know.
Why don't you know that?
Because I don't work with him.
So how are you going to find him?
Well, we've got CCTV. I'll identify.
Okay.
That, okay.
Oh, you will.
What I'm more concerned about at the moment.
No, I'm not going nowhere. I've
So
been
you
told that I
can't
can film it. I can.
You can, but you
I can
can't
film
it
it.
here.
I can film it. No, and I'm telling you that I've been told by an inspector that I can film here.
inspector was it?
Okay, Inspector Creed. Okay, now off you go because this is what he said. Okay, I can film here. So unless another inspector comes down and wants to tell me that, no, I'm not going to take it from you.
I have the right to tell you that you can't film it.
No, you're not going to supersede the inspector because he told me that I can film here.
Okay, from
All
my
right?
sergeant and from my inspector.
No.
I've been told
Which inspector?
inside.
Who's the inspector?
Inspector Cutter.
Okay, where's Inspector Cutter?
He's in the building.
Okay, we'll go and get Inspector Cutter to
Not
come
at
out
the
and tell me.
moment, because I'm asking you.
No, and I'm politely
Politely.
refusing and I'm
Politely.
declining because I've
Politely
already been
decline.
told by Inspector Creed that I can
Okay.
film here. So
And we have.
I don't believe
we have
you.
the right
I don't believe
to
you.
Overrule that.
I don't believe you.
The exchange shows just how far these officers were willing to twist the truth. Yardley keeps pointing out that an inspector already told him he could film from that spot, which should have ended the discussion. But the officer claims another inspector said Yardley couldn't film, yet refuses to bring that inspector out when asked. Then, when Yardley again mentions Inspector Creed confirmed he could, the officer says, "We have the right to overrule that." That's nonsense on every level. A constable cannot overrule an inspector. The rank structure doesn't work like that, and the law certainly doesn't bend to their opinion. Filming in public is lawful, and no officer has the authority to rewrite that, no matter what rank they hold.
Anyway, do you know something? You're trying to talk, right? And I've already told you. No. It's not that you're making sense or not. I've already told you that I'm not allowing you to talk simply because I want you to do something which you haven't done. So therefore, by you carrying on with your waffle, right, I'm giving you that opportunity to talk. But I'm not going to give you that opportunity to talk, so I'm going to stop you right there. When an inspector comes out, yeah, then he can tell me that. I'll tell him that what Inspector Creed says. We'll have that discussion there. Because as far as I'm concerned, yeah, I have been given, right, the right to film here. No, I'm not talking to you no more. I'm telling you, right? I've just told you.
Why let's have a conversation?
Don't worry about it, all
I
right?
don't understand why you're being
Because I want you to go and sort out this first thing. You're not doing it. You're not doing your job. You're standing there, wasting time, my time, your time, everybody's time.
What I don't.
Right?
What's the reason for filming here? That's what I know that you can, but what's the reason?
Well, it'll be a bit hard to draw stuff, so I've got my camera out.
Now, on the body cam footage, the same two officers return to Yardley and begin threatening him with what they'll arrest him under if he refuses to leave.
So what I'm saying to you, okay, all we need to know, or what we're happy with you doing, is filming, obviously outside of the more public areas. That's absolutely fine. Don't stop you doing that, okay? All we ask that under Section 68 of the Criminal Justice Public Order Act 1994, okay, is not to film.
Are you detaining me?
Not at the moment.
Listen.
Are you giving me a caution? Stop telling me to
I'm
listen.
giving you a warning.
Stop. No. Are you cautioning me?
I'm not cautioning you.
Well then, I don't want to hear no section, nothing. Am I doing anything wrong?
It's just
Am I
a
doing
guideline.
anything wrong?
Yes,
No.
it's just a
Am I doing
guideline.
anything wrong?
When you were
Am I
filming-
doing anything
filming
wrong?
registration plates are doing something wrong.
Listen. Don't tell me that I was filming registrations plates, okay? Get some concrete evidence and then come and start telling me all these things. Otherwise,
I never said
go
you did.
away. You keep on. You just did.
I'll tell you, under that section.
Under what section? Section what? Doing what?
Is if you begin to start filming registration plates, keypads, people coming in and out of the building, it's obstructing the day-to-day business.
No,
of the police
it's not. I'm not
Okay?
obstructing
We can
anybody,
then
and I can
arrest you.
stand in. Get lost.
Yeah,
Do you know
we can
something?
arrest you.
I can stand in a public place and I can film whatever I want.
Yeah, and we can arrest you for aggravating trespass. Okay.
You can't.
Yes, we can.
Get lost. You can't.
Yeah, we can, and we will do if you carry on.
Section 68 makes it an offence to trespass on private land with the intention of disrupting or obstructing lawful activity. Yardley's situation couldn't have been further from that. He was on public ground, filming quietly and not obstructing anyone. Filming registration plates is not illegal. They are displayed in public by law. To even suggest Section 68 applied here showed a shocking lack of understanding of the legislation. But instead of backing off, the officers doubled down. When Yardley went back inside to lodge a complaint, 5 minutes later the very same two officers came through the door and arrested him under Section 68.
Do these questions relevant? Oh,
Curious to know how to treat you, what your experience is and what you may or may not know.
I'm not somebody who gets myself into trouble.
Okay, no, that's fine. Right, well, long story short, I'm the classic sergeant, so it's my job to look after you here and ensure you're dealt with fairly as well.
Okay.
To that end, I'm going to ask obviously a few questions to find out why you're here, and I've got some questions for you, see how you're doing physically and mentally.
Okay.
Bearing in mind when I ask the officers about why you're here, that is them explaining why they've done what they've done. That's not an allegation to you for you to sort of necessarily reply to, okay? Because otherwise we'll end up in a conversation, I suspect. Okay.
Yardley's arrest under Section 68 wasn't just thrown out, it ended up costing the force thousands. While Yardley himself walked away with £1,500 in damages, the real sting is in the breakdown. Over £2,000 in council's fees, court fees, and nearly £5,000 in additional costs, all piling up to close to £10,000 once VAT is included. And who pays? Not the officers who lied about powers, not the ones who carried out the unlawful arrest, but the taxpayer. The public is left covering the bill for officers who couldn't be bothered to apply the law correctly. That's the insult on top of the injury. When police abuse their powers, it's not them who feel the consequence, it's us. What makes it even worse is that the whole legal fight was completely avoidable. If the officers had stuck to facts rather than ego, there would have been no lawsuit, no settlement, no wasted public money. Instead, they doubled down on an arrest they had no lawful grounds for, forcing the case to court where it collapsed. Settling was the only option left for the force because defending the indefensible would have cost them even more. This is what happens when officers think their authority outweighs the law. Sooner or later, the law catches up. Yardley was not trespassing. He was stood on public land, openly filming, bothering no one, and trespass itself isn't even a crime, it's a civil matter. To use aggravated trespass as grounds, you first need trespass, and the officers couldn't prove that because it never happened. The defense wording makes it crystal clear. If someone is not a trespasser, Section 68 cannot apply. The law doesn't bend around police opinion, it requires evidence, and there was none. Yardley was not obstructing, intimidating, or interfering with anything. The officers tried to stretch legislation that didn't fit, and the court saw right through it. Now let's conclude this episode. Yardley was stood on public land, doing something entirely lawful, yet instead of recognizing that, they tried to frame his presence as unlawful without any legal footing. That's not just sloppy, it shows a dangerous willingness to treat their personal discomfort as if it carried the weight of law. The misuse of Section 68 was the clearest failure. Aggravated trespass is designed for situations where people deliberately disrupt lawful activity on private property. Yardley was doing neither. To invoke that section in these circumstances wasn't protecting order. It was misapplying serious legislation to criminalize behavior that was never a crime in the first place. It revealed a lack of training so severe it tipped into abuse. The arrest itself exposed their true mindset. Yardley walked back inside to complain, as he was entitled to, and within minutes those same officers placed him in handcuffs. Nothing had changed in that 5 minutes. No crime had been committed, except that Yardley had dared to challenge them. That made the arrest retaliatory, not lawful, and it strips away any credibility in their claims of keeping the peace. The financial fallout makes it even worse. The force had no choice but to settle, paying Yardley compensation alongside thousands in legal costs. And once again, it wasn't the officers who paid the price, it was the public. Every taxpayer contributed to clearing up a mess created by poor judgment and unlawful policing. That's money that could have gone into genuine policing, wasted instead on defending behavior that should never have happened. What this episode really proves is how fragile policing becomes when procedure is replaced with emotion. At every stage, Yardley stayed calm, logical, and within the law, while the officers lurched from error to error until their frustration turned into an unlawful arrest. In the end, Yardley didn't just win in court. He proved on camera that when officers overstep, it's not the law that protects them, it's the public who ends up paying for their mistakes. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me continue with my independent coverage. Also, don't forget to check out Yardley Ski. His channel is linked in the description. Show him some love. Thanks for watching. This was Rate the Audits, and I'll see you in the next one.